The Vancouver Canucks are finally back on a winning streak and back in the playoff race, getting huge momentum they hope to carry into the next few games, starting with the Dallas Stars, with one superstar to no one's surprise leading the way over the past 7 games. We're going to be breaking down all that in this episode of Canucks Digest, so first make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you don't miss ANL updates surrounding the Canucks as we head into a game against Dallas to keep this win streak alive. Before we get into that, just want to give a huge shout out to Coho for being a supporter of this video.
Coho is Canada's leading fintech alternative to traditional banking, designed to help you spend smarter, save better, and even build your credit all in one app. Coho is a Canadian company that offers a 4% interest rate on your entire balance, and this is a non-promotional rate, which means it's one of the highest interest rates in Canada. With Coho, you can earn up to 2% cash back on everyday spending like groceries, eating out, and transportation, but it doesn't stop there. Coho makes building credit easier than ever before, and the average Coho user sees their credit score rise by 22 points in just 3 months. Plus, there are no hidden fees. You can earn up to 4% interest on your balance and even get a cash advance of up to $250 interest-free. Coho makes managing your money fun and effortless, and the best part, your funds in the Coho account are insured by the Canadian Deposit Insurance Corporation up to $100,000. Are you ready to take control of your finances? Click the link in the description or the pinned comments and use the code CANUCKS20 to get a $20 Canadian reward when you sign up and add $20 to your account. Check them out, and thank you once again for Coho for sponsoring this video.
And with that, let's hop into the first topic today, which is, so you're telling me there's a chance. So for the first time since November, the Canucks are on a 3-game winning streak, with the next game and the opportunity to keep this streak going coming against the Dallas Stars on January 31st. Now, before we hop into the playoff race and all that shenanigans, first we got to give our flowers to Thatcher Demko, who last night had a fantastic night, showing shades of himself, of his vintage self, with a 9.69 save percentage performance. After a third period man advantage for the Predators, he made a big kick save to keep the game 2-1, and throughout the game he reacted calmly as Nashville peppered him with in-close shots. This was his first game against the Predators since the 4-2 Game 1 victory in the Canucks' first-round playoff series in 2024. With a minute left in the period and an empty net for Nashville, Demko's heroics helped seal the team's 3rd win in a row, even with Filip Forsberg climbing all over him, and so many high danger chances that came his way. So got to give our props to Demko. I know a lot of people were saying that he's been struggling lately since he's come back, but this was finally a statement Demko game that we can go off of and say, this is what we wanted to see all season, and this is hopefully the Demko that we see for the rest of the season. Now, going into the standings and everything like that, Vancouver is now 56 total points. They are 2 games back of the LA Kings for 3rd in the Pacific. They're still not 11 points back of the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights as they continue. But this is where the chance is there. The chance is alive, and that is in the wild card standings. So you look at that, Vancouver currently possesses that 2nd wild card spot, only 4 points behind Colorado for the 1st wild card spot. And with 2 points back of the Kings, they can still make a push to not even have a wild card spot and get home ice advantage for one of the series. Hopefully, if Vegas can hit a bit of a struggle there at the end of the season and Vancouver can keep this heater going, it just goes to show that just a few days ago or a few weeks ago, we were saying how bad this Vancouver Canucks team was looking despite being hanging in there in a wild card spot, but still being a few points out. Now that they rattle off these wins, it goes to show that if this Canucks team can go on a heater, they can get into a really good playoff position. They went on a 3-game heater, and now we're in the 2nd wildcard spot. So if we can keep this going, we can keep pushing up to that 3rd spot in the Pacific, and then try and chase down Vegas and Edmonton for that 1st spot. I know as the rest of the season goes on, that gap with Vegas and Edmonton is going to get a bit bigger, and 2nd place is going to be a bit more of a... 1st place is going to be a bit more hard to reach as 2nd place gets down a bit further. But with Vancouver, we saw them last season go on a lot of multi-game winning streaks and having that potential to just be an explosive team where you're playing from behind all the time. We haven't seen too much of that this season, and we haven't seen them pile on the wins, especially since this is our first 3+ win streak since November. So it's been a long time since we've tasted a few consecutive games because of how inconsistent this team has been all season. But if this is the start of more consistency coming the Canucks' way, I feel very confident that despite all the trade rumors, despite all the noise, despite all the inconsistencies on the ice, I'm feeling very confident that this is the break. This is the point where the Canucks can kind of say, hey, we've gotten 3 games together now. It's the first time since November. We have all this stuff that's surrounding us right now, all this BS that's going on right now, all the trade rumors, everything that's happening in the locker room. This is our time to shut people up and just go on a bit of a heater, and then all this noise will just die down or not be as loud as it is right now. So this is something where we could be seeing the tides turn a little bit in Vancouver for the better. I know it's been a lot of choppy waters and rough sailing for the most part of this season, but I feel like now they're finally hitting a little bit of a stride where Demko's getting back, Joshua's getting back to himself, Tyler Myers is on a bit of a heater right now, Niels Höglander's getting going a bit, Elias Pettersson's been picking it up lately, so we're seeing some guys get very in tune with their game. But what do you guys think down below as we head into our second topic of the day, which is one player who absolutely has not been slacking, and that is, captain, my captain, Quinn Hughes, who over the past 7 games, with last night's 2-assist game, extends his point streak to 7 games, getting 1 goal against the Kings, a game which we lost, and then the Oilers getting 2 goals. We won that game. 1 assist versus Buffalo, 1 assist versus Edmonton, which we lost that game. 2 goals against Washington, which carried us to victory. 2 assists versus the Blues, and then 2 assists last night versus the Predators. So Quinn Hughes is on a fire heater streak right now. He leads the league in points by a defenseman as well, and he scored his 101st multi-point game last night, and this is just building off of a January that has been really solid. There's only 2 games in the month of January where he didn't register a single point, and you look at just the past 3 games alone, he's got 6 points just in the past 3 games, and like we said, with that 7-game point streak, it just keeps going and going. But he's still just exceeding even beyond that. He's not just getting 1 point on these games or getting secondary assists. No, he's scoring goals. He's leading us to victory. He's getting primary assists. He's creating opportunities for guys. And 16 points over that stretch of games is very, very awesome for any player, especially if you're a defenseman. And this is what we expect out of our top player. He's been our golden goose ever since we got him, and he's been the best defenseman in the NHL, bar none. And even when on an inconsistent team like the Vancouver Canucks, he still is up there for the Norris Trophy consideration for winning his 2nd in a row. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't give it to him. I know Colorado has all the Cale Makar hype behind him, but especially if Vancouver can finish in a higher playoff position than Colorado was, I think that kind of silences any argument that you have towards why Quinn Hughes shouldn't win the Norris, especially when looking at the scorers on this team. He is number 3 in scoring on the team, and when you look at overall points, he's leading the team in points, leading the team in assists, only 3 goals behind Jake DeBrusk for the lead in team goals, and plus minus, he leads the team with plus 15. So not only is Quinn Hughes getting points and assists, but he's also scoring goals. He's doing everything you would want your team captain to do. I know there's a lot of things as far as what's going on in the locker room right now that we want to see him maybe crack the whip a little bit more, but nevertheless, he has still been the perfect leader that we've needed for this Canucks team as far as I'm concerned and as far as anyone's concerned, really. You look around and ask anybody, who is your favorite Vancouver Canuck? Almost 9 times out of 10, they say Quinn Hughes. I know with me it being Brock Boeser, I know I'm going to be that one exception to that. That's why I only said 9 out of 10. But Brock Boeser, I know that's someone that we could be moving on from, unfortunately. So will be time to switch to Quinn Hughes as my favorite Canuck, because with Brock Boeser leaving, unfortunately, I know a lot of people haven't been too happy with his style of play lately. I've always been on the fence of, hey, let Brock do his thing. We need him when we need him most. That's when he shows up. When we don't need him most, I know that tends to be when he kind of takes a bit of a back seat. But when we get him in those situations, that's when we see the Brock Boeser that we're used to seeing. And with Quinn Hughes, he is just rolling through this season on his way to a 2nd straight Norris. And this is going to be the key towards keeping this consistency going, is making sure that A, Quinn Hughes is in the lineup, B, Quinn Hughes is producing, and C, that Quinn Hughes is making opportunities happen for other guys. Because unless it's Tyler Myers, not a lot of opportunities are being sprung on to other players. Tyler Myers has really picked it up over the past few games. The Chaos Giraffe, he's been really solid. I've really liked what I've seen out of him. Noah Juulsen's taking a bit of a dip, so these other defensive players are going to have to step up if Quinn Hughes and Tyler Myers aren't there to save the day. I never thought I would say Tyler Myers saving the day, but he did have a big night last night as well, getting 2 assists for himself. So him and Quinn Hughes, they had a really big game last night, and this is going to be key towards keeping the momentum going against Dallas. We're going against a really good team, and with 2 defensemen that are really rolling right now, we're having an offense that's really clicking right now. We've gotten double digit scoring or shots on goal in the first period in multiple games now in a row. So that is really nice to see. They're getting a lot more offense going. They're not just playing dump and chase hockey. I know Pettersson has been playing a little bit of that style, and I know there's a lot of reports in the media about with him not agreeing with Tocchet's style of play. But with last night, we saw that that's not really the case. Tocchet just wants you to get pucks in the net and win games. At the end of the day, that's what any hockey fan wants. It doesn't matter how you get them. It just matters how many you get. They don't ask how, they ask how many. That's the old saying with hockey. And you got to get pucks deep. You got to get pucks in the net. Obviously, everybody knows that. But what do you guys think on the Vancouver Canucks past 3 games? Do you think that they can keep this consistency going? Or is this just another case of us just getting false hope only for us to get smacked against Dallas in the next game like 4-1, 5-1 in typical Canucks fashion like we've been used to this season? But are you guys hopeful that this is the time that the tides do change and this is when Vancouver can turn it around? Let us know what you guys have to say down in the comments. But that's going to do it for this episode of Canucks Digest. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you don't miss our post-game reaction to Dallas and some other trade rumors that are still coming out. I know you guys are sick of hearing about the trade rumors and potentially losing these Canucks, but it's still going to be circulating in the media nonetheless. So stay tuned for all those videos dropping soon. But with that, I've been your host, Griffin. Take care.